Yeah, you know
Just
what's
have to make it available.
I tried to put some stuff out, years ago, but I found that one of the reasons why there's not a lot of footage of me out there is because I made a conscious decision not to be pimped. I mean, figuratively pimped,
Right.
For my image or my name or my likeness out there, unless I was involved in, in getting some percentage of it. And the thing is, a lot of people, since the films, I've had a hard time with trusting a lot of the people in the street dance world because a lot of them were jealous that I got a lot of the star status and a lot of the attention. I mean, but for me, I looked at it as my opportunity with the films was a vehicle and an open door for them to be able to work and get respect. So it was a two-edged sword doing those films. I mean, I lost and still to this day, I have a lot of people who are still actually active dancers that are, they're jealous of me and they want to make their contribution to history, and I understand that, but they also want to make a buck, and they're actually doing what the industry did to us, which even though we were working dancers, I do have a feeling that once Hollywood and the entertainment industry realized this was a bankable commodity, this new dance style, that they just wanted to exploit anything that they could about it, and instead of just the art form, they just wanted to just saturate the industry with this dance style. So in doing that, a lot of us became me and Shabadoo, we became like the poster guys, for breakdancing and popping, which that's not a title that I wanted, I mean, because there's so many other dancers that contributed to the style. We just did a film to open the world's eyes, to this dance culture, So I think that that's probably why I haven't put out a DVD or an instructional or anything, because it was just too hard to trust anybody to work with, that were other dancers, But I do intend to do something like that in the near future or soon.
Did you meet Michael Jackson during the filming of Breaking and Breaking 2, or after? Or how did that happen?
No, I knew him. I knew him before the film.
Oh, okay. So can you tell us a little bit about that?
INLA, there's a Channel 7 News, our local news had a segment called INLA where they would do a weekly report on what's going on in Los Angeles. And INLA did a street dance segment about street dance culture, and I was featured on that segment. And when I got featured on that segment, I had no idea that my steps would, my style would catch the attention of Michael Jackson. But evidently there was somebody from the film crew from Channel 7 on INLA. There was somebody on that crew who knew the Jackson family, and after being featured on this street dance segment, I was invited to the house. Me and Pop and Taco were invited to his house, and that was the first time that we met him, and it was really interesting. Pop and Taco and I had very different styles at the time. Pop and Taco was very much into the Boogaloo style, doing his doing his Cobra and doing his thing, and my whole thing was the animation. I had my animation, and I had my floating and my moonwalk combination. That's what got Michael's attention with me. He had already worked with Jeffrey Daniels and some other dancers that were in the industry, but when he learned the first moonwalk, there was one version from the artist Jeffrey Daniels from Shalimar. But when I came on the scene, my version of the moonwalk, which is actually called the back slide, my version had a combination, and it was much faster. It was a much faster stride, and so Michael Jackson was really trying to perfect his Billie Jean solo. He was like, okay, I already did Motown 25. Everybody liked it when I moonwalked. Let me add more to my solo. And by watching me, he was able to take just the one backslide into a whole solo routine like I would always do, and go into this whole popping thing. And with Bruno, when he was working out with Bruno helped him with choreography in a group setting. So like when you see the video Smooth Criminal or actually Captain EO, where they're doing the dance routine, Bruno's choreography, Bruno's style was good for Michael to use in choreography of a popping routine. And my style was used for his solo routine. And you could see how Michael made the transition. When he would just do a solo of Billie Jean, he started doing more footwork, more animation, during that Billie Jean solo. But when he would do choreography with other people, it was easier for him to revert to the Papa Taco style.
Now, when I watch a video of Michael Jackson on YouTube or other locations, and I see him doing a circle float and other things, this is your influence on him, or did he have other dancers doing the same sorts of things?
No, that was my influence. Matter of fact, there's a scene in Breaking, which is in 1984. There's a scene in Breaking in the beginning of the film. The credits are rolling, where you see me do the circle float on Venice Beach. It's like while the credits are going, I have a top hat on, and I'm doing my.
It's actually somebody's isolated that and put it on YouTube. As a matter of fact, they've isolated that.
Yeah, I'm really thankful with YouTube because a lot of this research stuff is easy to look at. He basically would watch how my delivery of it, and it really cranked his version of his moonwalking up a whole notch, because I had already had my version of articulating and conveying those two combinations. And with martial arts, I always revert back to martial arts. A lot of people, they look at different artists to get the proper delivery of a kick or a roundhouse or whatever, and they want to perfect that for that certain move. So they look at a number of people before they find that right transition, in a person. And so when I came on the scene, that was my contribution to Mr. Jackson. I had no idea how he was going to use it until I started seeing his growth on videos, meaning each video, every time he came out with a new video, when he did a solo, I saw my popping moves coming out in him, as opposed to just him having the backslide. As far as the Neo project, I wanted to explain why I wasn't in it. Captain EO was in 1986 when it came out. That was 1986. Breaking came out in 1984, and then a year after that was Electric Boogaloo. So I had already had star status as a dancer actor at the time, and I was touring around with Shabadoo to to promote the film and doing guest appearances around the country and overseas. And by the time 1986 came around, I was on tour with the Fat Boys and Run DMC on the New York City Fresh Festival. Right. So I wasn't able to be on that project. And also, my height, I was only 5'6", and Michael Jackson, he always, if you notice in any of his videos, he always used dancers that were closer to his height just for staging purposes. He always had dancers that were close to his height, and I was always short one, so I missed out on a lot of those projects.
Oh, I didn't know that. Well, that's a very interesting piece of trivia there. Did you? We know that Bruno Falcon served as a choreographer for Michael Jackson for quite a number of years. What about you? Did you go on tour with Jackson as well?
I didn't go on tour with him, but whenever we would get together, we would have like jam sessions, and he would ask me, whenever his schedule permitted, I would go